They will think we live in a crazy time. Bonjour YouTube. This is our second episode from the lockdown. So we heard the news this week that Emily in Paris, it has been renewed for the second season. We would like to share a few things about the show from the first season that we thought were incorrectly portraying the country, the life here especially. If you haven't watched the show yet, stop watching this video because we're gonna give some spoilers.
When she arrives to Paris, she lives in one of the most expensive areas and she never takes any transport. She never takes any public transport, which was a bit weird to me because unless you take a cab or you go somewhere by walk, you have to take metro. But in the movie, in TV series, we never seen her taking public transport.
You can cross the city in 20 minutes actually. You know, so you can see immediately that the show is targeted more for the US market rather than European market, because in Europe, car is not as popular as it is in America or in other regions like Middle East, let's say, or Asia. Here, the public transportation is super well developed. It's much easier and more efficient to actually travel through the city by metro or by suburban lines, let's say if you need to go somewhere outside of the city, you know, and we never see her do these things. We never see her even go to a post office, which is a different thing. I hope they will get there as well, because La Poste is the national post office here, and it's notorious for having a lot of issues. Because aside from delivering letters, oftentimes you would wait for a package that doesn't arrive, or they say that they couldn't find you, and in reality you were at home waiting. They would say that they were there, and in reality they just passed by your home and they just dropped the paper for you to say, oh, we were here, we couldn't reach you. They never bother calling, even if you ask them to call, they never do. And then they would drop the paper saying, oh, we were here, we couldn't reach you. Patsy, we were here, we couldn't reach you, and go to the nearest post office to pick up your parcel, let's say. When it comes to the work culture, in general in France, it's very important to respect one another. That's why saying bonjour, for example, wherever you go, or bonsoir in the evening, the first thing you do is you say hello, right? And it's super important because it's politesse. La politesse is politeness. It's super important in this culture. So for her to receive, first of all, to meet her boss for the first time, he kisses her on the cheek. Not gonna happen usually in the work environment. That's one thing. Yeah. Second, smoking in the office. That's illegal to do that. So a lot of big offices, they will not even attempt to do that. You know, maybe some crazies somewhere here and there, like occasional, you know.
Smoking is a pleasure, and without pleasure, who are we?
German.
But generally, that does not happen. And normally what happens is that when someone wants to smoke, there are usually areas outside the office, like let's say a balcony or something, or they just go downstairs and they have a cigarette outside the building. So that's one thing. Second, I found it very strange how basically they are showing women, especially women in France, to be very promiscuous in the show, which I found untrue as well. You know, the fact that she sent lingerie by one of her clients. Not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. 99.9%, that's not gonna happen. That's gonna be rude. That's gonna be taken as super rude, you know? Or the client's wife knows about the mistress, and then she thought that Emily at the end of the TV series was his new mistress, and she says that she's approving it. Garbage. Sorry, does not happen. Usually it does not happen. In France, women just are like any other women, like anywhere else in the world. They respect one another. They respect each other. The people respect one another. It's all about respect for one another, you know. And the fact that they show the model walking across Pont Alexandre III in the center of Paris, and she was naked completely. Maybe in someone's dream, I don't know. I have yet to see naked people running around the bridges for I just don't know. Yeah. Maybe somewhere or once in a blue moon it happens. But the show again shows it like France is all about sexualizing women. They are very promiscuous. People are just like, sleeping with one another left, right, and center, not. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the case.
Yeah.
You can go crazy,
That's
of
not the
course.
case,
You can
no.
find crazy anywhere, But to make it a big point in the show, that's Simon. Simon, can you move?
There is also no diversity in working environment. When she works in an office, everybody was European, but in reality, you can see so many different races, so many different nationalities.
That's true. Yeah.
But in the movie, we could only see Europeans, which wasn't.
And they put one black guy.
Yeah.
They put only one guy.
That's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case.
Yeah.
The offices here are super multinational when it comes to like my colleagues. I have a lot of colleagues that are from all over the world, or even French themselves. The nation itself, the country itself, has a lot of people from different ethnic backgrounds. There are people with roots from Africa, let's say. There are people with roots from the Middle East, from Asia. So it's not. The show itself looks a little bit washed into one direction. Even especially what I didn't like was when she went to the market, and that is so not true what they showed. Markets are full of people from all over the world. Normally when you go to those markets, you can see people from all over the world, but in the show they only showed Europeans, which is a little bit unfair to the city, to say the least.
Everybody speaks English. Of course, you can find some people who can speak English, but which doesn't mean that you don't need to speak French. I mean, if you want to live in France, it's one of the essentials. You need to speak French.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, at least you need to know how to say bonjour, au revoir. I mean, at least you need to make small sentences, basic sentences. I mean, even if the simplistic, for instance, when you want to send something, when you want to send a letter to someone, you need to go to La Poste. So you need to speak French to an officer over there. Everybody speaks French, no one speaks English in La Poste. I mean, I tried and no, it didn't work. It looks like she's extremely rich, like she's wearing Chanel, Dior. Okay, it can happen, but I don't know. To me, it was a bit.
The profile
too much.
didn't really match. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
It looks like she was the owner of a company rather than
An employee. Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know.
And with the point with the high heels, like the girls here, they don't usually wear high heels everywhere. It's impossible to walk around Paris without proper shoes, because Paris is a city that requires you to be very active. You go to the metro, you have to go through like staircases, like there's no tomorrow escalator and all of that. Then you've got like all these cobblestone streets, you could easily break your heel in there. So in general, the show looks more of like, oh, Paris is like this beautiful place, there is only what I got from the show is that there's only one ethnicity living in Paris. You wear high fashion brands, you walk in high. Sorry, what the show makes Paris look like is more of like a postal card of the city, not really the reality as per se.
Yeah.
Because yes, because there is the beautiful architecture is here. Yes.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of amazing things. Art galleries are everywhere. The food is amazing. Yes. But in general, we hope that the next season they will spend more time on actually showing a little bit more of the reality.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't want people to take the show seriously, but it feels a bit tired. It feels a bit tired and worn out because they're just playing the clichés over and over and over through the show.
And I checked, there were so many critics about the TV series, by the way, by French. I mean, most of them were criticizing the way the things were shown in the TV series because they were not happy about how they portrayed the French society. So they didn't like it a lot.
But yeah, overall we like the show.
Yeah.
We like the show. I mean, it did cinematically speaking, I mean, it looked very beautiful.
I enjoy watching the TV series, even though there were some parts which didn't show the reality. But I enjoy some parts.
The show is not to be taken seriously. I think there's room for improvement when it comes to, you know, subjects like diversity or showing people how French are apparently very promiscuous, which is not really the case. I mean, it's a bit off. You know, hopefully the second season they will do something a little bit more realistic, a little bit. But it's a beautiful show,
Yeah.
and
We finished it in a day.
yeah,
It was very quick.
it's easy to watch.
Yeah, it was easy to watch.
So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. It's always better to subscribe to us, so that you can always get notification when we release anything new.
Until next week.
Until next week,
Bye.
bye.